No one can fill the shoes of Malcolm X. No one. But we will endeavor to guide many to take active parts so that they might carry out the program in the manner that he desires. It is my desire to see that this program is brought into focus, and I will, in every way, do everything that I can. I have been asked, and I will function in the capacity of choosing those I feel equal to work in his place. I have never believed that the black Muslims are fully responsible for my brother's death. They may have instigated the pulling of the trigger, but the death of my brother was wide ranged. I mean, it was much bigger than the black Muslims.
Hey everyone, welcome to the 1804 Show, Chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is another episode of 1804 History. So tonight, I'm going to be talking about Miss Ella Little Collins, the sister of Malcolm X. And it's crazy because nobody ever mentioned her in the movie, documentaries, or specials about him, and how she played a real syndicate role in his life. Because if it wasn't for her, he probably would have been dead a long time ago. And it's just really crazy just how their father had died and the circumstances that he did by the Legion up in Michigan. So she was in Georgia that whole time. Apparently, later on down the line, she moved to Boston. So she had came and visit them during the funeral. And she was really close with her other siblings. It was eight of them, but mainly she took a very special liking to Malcolm because he was just always smart, always was willing to help people. Even as a kid, he was just a sweetheart. And she had told him, if you ever want to come live with me, you're more than welcome to. So after that, and Malcolm's mother ended up being institutionalized because of what happened to Earl. Malcolm ended up staying at the boys' home. And after being told by his teacher that he can never be a lawyer because he's a nigger, and that, hey man, you might as well be a carpenter. You know, you good with your hands and this and that. And that crushed Malcolm. So Malcolm made a phone call to his sister and asked her, can I still come stay with you in Boston? And she said, yeah. So Malcolm left Michigan and moved to Boston, Massachusetts. And Ella pretty much became his legal guardian, you know, teaching him how to survive, teaching him the game, teaching him how to, you know, hustle and this and that, how to make sure extra money. And it's pretty much how he became Detroit Red because of his sister. But also, his sister was very strict, very on him, and making sure that he did his schoolwork and his chores and everything. So, yeah, it's just really crazy because she really was involved. You know what I'm saying? And I never really liked the movie Malcolm X because they didn't tell everything. They didn't tell the truth. They didn't really showcase the women in Malcolm's life because his sister played a huge role. Then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and stuff like that, and Betty too. You know, she was more like a supporting role, and Angela Bassett. But these two women held Malcolm down, and it's just really sad that the world doesn't know that as much because you know Malcolm X is immortalized, but he also was a man. And when it comes to a strong man, it's the women in his life. And his sister was there when he got assassinated. She was there to view the body and all that stuff. But yeah, it just was a really sad time. And then just have your siblings turn on you too. But his sister always made sure to hold him down. She even paid for his Hajj to Mecca. She paid for that because Malcolm was broke at the time. Malcolm was practically homeless during the last year of his life because he was getting evicted from his home. So his sister gave him the money. And his sister also worked for Congressman Adam Clayton Powell. So that's how they met and everything like that. So she was just really a special woman in her honor and always made sure to always tell the good side of Malcolm instead of being this angry black man. But Malcolm was loved by his sister, and she made sure to continue his studies, continue his work. She spoke at many places. She's a very good speaker, articulate, and everything. So that runs in the family. But yeah, later on, she ended up passing away from her illnesses because she had lost both her legs due to gangrene, and she was such a sweet woman. But yeah, y'all, that's it. Hit like, comment, subscribe to the channel, 1804 Show Chapter 2, and I'm out. Have a good day. Peace.
Malcolm lived with me from 12 until he went to prison. I had a chance to discipline Malcolm in prison. Malcolm was an aggressive young boy. I admired it. I stimulated it. I felt that a black young man, over the period of 400 years in America, had been deprived of any aggressive thoughts even. If you show aggressive thoughts before the white man, he would erase you, set you apart from the others as a villain. So, but I felt that in order for Malcolm, after my father's death and his mother's having gone to a hospital, I felt that it was my duty to stimulate his arrogance, stimulate his impulsiveness. Let him feel that life was the life that God gave him belonged to him. He didn't have to pay homage to anyone. This is how I guided him.
What kinds of influences do you think being in prison had upon him? What kind of effect?
In prison, I was able to really direct him into accepting facts as a guideline to life, not an illusion, something that's dramatized. Prison is real. If a God sees fit to throw you in solitary confinement, this is for real. Malcolm was able to see this and accept life from a realistic point of view. I think all of the illusions that he may have adopted in his youth from environment, I think he lost it in prison. I think he really saw life for real. And this was one of the most valuable assets that Malcolm did acquire in life, was courage, a matter of fact, to accept life from a realistic point of view. Nothing dramatized would interest Malcolm, nothing.